A very good evening and a warm welcome to our second edition of UBC News Tonight on this 18th day of September 2025. I'm Lauryn Masika Kazimoto and my colleague Muhammad Gulu on sign language interpretation. We do welcome you this evening. Now, before we delve into tonight's news bulletin, let's first take a look at the top stories tonight.
Brought to you by Uniquely Ours. Explore Uganda.
Leaders in Bundubujo district reach landmark decision to create a new administrative unit. And UNEB decries the lack of integrity among schools practicing examination malpractice.
Uniquely Ours. Explore Uganda.
Good evening and welcome. Now, in our top stories tonight, President Yoweri Museveni has emphasized the call for dialogue and consensus if Uganda is to move forward. Museveni urges fellow political actors to avoid mistakes that may compromise the country's stability, calling for peaceful expression of different points of view. The president was speaking during the summit of the Inter-Party Organization for Dialogue, where he also explained the delayed increment of arts teachers' salaries, a matter raised by UPC President Jimmy Akena. We have the details.
That Uganda is on course in its quest for socio-economic transformation is one fact whose sustainability requires peaceful coexistence.
Also, President of the Republic of Uganda.
This underscores the need for dialogue and reconciliation in the country's political arena.
We believe that the challenges afflicting this nation can be comprehensively addressed through dialogue, through discussion, through consensus. And that is what we believe in as a party, and those are the values we bring to IPOD.
There is no need for us to think that there are no good people in all the organizations that exist in Uganda. They are all patriots. Indeed, when you walked in and you looked at my nephew, Honorable Amoriat, you remarked, "Are these the enemies?" Then I said, "No, sir, these are patriots."
This is the language that all political party leaders spoke as they met in Kololo under the Inter-Party Organization for Dialogue.
I would like to appeal to you, Your Excellency, that you exercise the prerogative of mercy, even for those who may be found at fault, and these should just merely be for the sake of not living in the past, but progressing this country forward.
When you are addressing somebody, whether president, whether a president of another party, bear in mind that the person you are addressing, who you are criticizing, his wife referred to him as a husband. His children refer to him as a dad. Once you bear that in mind, then you will sieve your language to make sure that even when you have disagreed with me, or with the president, or with the speaker, you will not antagonize with that expanded family.
And therefore, I am here to demonstrate our commitment towards that better Uganda. We are not going to shirk from the responsibility. Whatever difficulties come, we are prepared and ready, willing to address them as best we can.
These calls should not be confined to Uganda for harmony to prevail beyond borders.
If you have a different understanding, at least don't be violent. Don't use violence. Don't use subversion.
like the members here were saying, yes, they have got their different points of view, but let them express them peacefully, and then we see whether we agree or disagree.
Museveni agrees with opposition political leaders on peaceful coexistence.
The disaster in Africa is that people have got wrong understanding, but also use wrong methods. They are wrong on all accounts. They don't understand correctly, and they act wrongly, using wrong tactics, violence, subversion, cheating. This is the crisis you get in these countries. This is why Uganda here was in chaos.
The president also took the time to explain the disparities in teachers' salaries in response to a concern by UPC party president Jimmy Akena.
I, as a congressman, remain committed to quality education for the people or the children of Uganda. But I don't agree in the separation of scientists and art teachers. I have had great art teachers who have built me up, who have encouraged, and I believe that these teachers are playing an important role in developing the next generation of Ugandans.
It could be why UPC had problems, because they don't prioritize well. They try to do this, then the other way. The teachers, if we have money, we would pay all of them well at the very beginning. But if we don't have enough money, why don't we start with the ones that are fewer, but also are very much required the stage where we are.
All said and done, Museveni would hand over the chairmanship of the iPod summit to DP party president Norbert Mao.
For a very long time.
Henry Okrut, UBC.
We shall remain standing for the anthem.
The Ministry of Finance has urged members of the public to submit proposals for consideration in the ongoing tax policy reforms. These reforms aim to support business growth while also expanding government revenue collection.
Between July and September, the Ministry of Finance sets policy objectives, develops preliminary proposals and invites submissions from the private sector, industry associations, academia, civil society and the general public, who are key stakeholders in Uganda's tax policy.
Is part of our commitment to ensuring transparency, stakeholder engagement and inclusiveness in the formulation of the budget and review of tax policies in Uganda. The Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development is keen to ensure that all stakeholders are adequately consulted to enable them participate effectively in the process that leads to the formulation and review of tax policy, particularly in the context of the budget process for every ensuring financial year. This is important because tax affects businesses and persons as it takes away resources from them, and its collection may impose obligations on them to account for it.
Representatives from the Civil Society Budget Advocacy Group, CSBAG, argue that the involvement of stakeholders ensures fair tax policies are realized.
The prohibitive costs associated with the digital tax system, such as IFRIS, are some of the issues that our taxpayer is struggling with. CSBAG calls for simplified procedures and the elimination of unnecessary charges, if possible, that can encourage formalization and business growth. These contributions are consolidated into draft proposals, which are later used as references during regional budget consultations.
Government has undertaken a bold and ambitious step through the tenfold growth strategy to expand the economy from US$ 50 billion in financial year 2020-2021 to US$ 500 billion in 2040.
While the government must collect revenue, it also has a duty to create a competitive and enabling environment that supports business growth and sustainability. Sandra Kahonde, UBC News, Kampala.
Thank you, Sandra Kahunde. Now, the lower primary classes are set to adopt familiar local languages as the medium of instruction, while English will be taught only as a subject if the government approves the proposal. A nationwide survey by the National Curriculum Development Center shows most learners prefer lessons in local languages as they understand for better comprehension.
Language is a key communication factor that facilitates classroom understanding, and it's vital if we are going to attain excellency or success, especially in the acquisition of cognitive skills.
Uganda's educational system has long struggled to identify an inclusive and effective language medium for early grade instruction. Primary 1 to Primary 3 learners are expected to be taught in familiar local languages to promote literacy and understanding. However, implementation has remained patchy due to limited instructional materials and lack of clear language policy guidance.
A study by UEZO that was done in 2021 showed that only about 12% of the learners from P1 to P3 are able to read.
In a landmark move, the National Curriculum Development Center in 2022 undertook a nationwide assessment to examine language use patterns, community preferences, and the viability of a multilingual education model.
This study is about use of a familiar language as a medium of instruction. And when we talk about familiar language, we are talking about a language that a learner or a child is able to listen to and speak before they enter classroom.
The report now recommends that learners from Primary 1 to Primary 3 be taught in the dominant local language of the area, with English introduced only as a subject. From Primary 4, a bilingual teaching model has been proposed. Both English and a familiar local language be used in classroom instruction. From Primary 5 onwards, then English will become the sole language of teaching for academic assessment.
The consultative process is going to continue. Beyond this stage, we have to engage the executive, we have to engage parliament, but our expectation that within a period of less than 2 years, before we roll out the implementation of the primary curriculum, the new curriculum for primary, we expect that this policy will have been rolled out by then.
Crispus Adinitwe, UBC News.
The Greater Kampala Metropolitan Area Urban Development Program is progressing steadily, with 79% of road networks and market projects already completed across the targeted areas. Minister for Kampala, Hajat Minsa Kabanda, attributed the progress to World Bank and government's commitment towards economic development and transformation of citizens' livelihoods. She made the remarks while opening a 2-day workshop organized to review the project's achievements and devise strategies for its effective completion.
The Greater Kampala Metropolitan Area Urban Development Program, introduced in 2015 but implemented a year and a half ago, is designed to upgrade road networks, strengthen institutional capacity, and promote environmental protection, among other aspects. The initiative has registered major progress with the construction of several road networks and markets in Kampala, Wakiso, Mukono, and surrounding areas.
You can see that Kampala City itself and the entire metropolitan, all the 9 areas surrounding Kampala district will be opened up.
42% of resilience along project corridors report improved accessibility, while 44% cite reduced travel time.
Speaking during a stakeholders midterm review of the program, Minister for Kampala, Hajat Minsa Kabanda, commended World Bank and other development partners for the support towards the program, saying it has contributed to key infrastructure and economic developments across the country.
This program is aligned with our national and international frameworks, including Vision 2040, the National Development Plan 3 and 4, and the Sustainable Development Goals to ensure that our urbanization is sustainable, inclusive, and growth-oriented.
The World Bank representative emphasized the need for government to prioritize environment protection through sustainable innovations and long-lasting systems.
And the one aspect that worries me the most is the number of accidents that we're seeing on site. So we really want to work with you to upgrade those systems, fill those gaps.
Despite notable achievements, challenges still remain, slowing down the project's overall progress.
Operations and maintenance remain a major concern, with insufficient allocations to safeguard long-term sustainability of investment.
State Minister for Kampala Kabuyecho Fatogabye cited the importance of involving local leaders through community sensitization to enhance service delivery and ensure smooth implementation.
Why you bring everybody on board? Sometimes we leaders, we tend to forget because we have so many on our heads.
Rebecca Natongo reporting for UBC News.
In efforts to strengthen development, promote unity and benefit from government programs, people with disabilities have been encouraged to work together and avoid partisan politics in order to develop socially and economically. The national chairman of the NRM Central Executive Committee for PWDs, Haji Shafiq Mwanje, officiated at the commissioning of the first ever national NRM PWDs office in Wakiso district.
It was joy and celebration among people with disabilities during the commissioning of their first ever National NRM Central Executive Committee multi-million office at Naluvule in Wakiso district. The function was presided over by the National Chairman NRM SEC for PWDs, Haj Shafiq Mwanje, alongside leaders of the PWDs League and a cross-section of people with disabilities. The National Chairman for PWD's SEC, Haj Shafiq Mwanje, encouraged members to use the office to drive development and support government programs aimed at poverty alleviation. He further advised them to rally behind President Museveni and other NRM flag bearers in the forthcoming general elections to maintain the gains registered in the country. The National NRM Public Relations Officer for PWDs, Diana Arinaitwe, commended their National Chairman for fulfilling his pledges, particularly the establishment of the first ever PWDs office, and emphasized that it will be used inclusively without discrimination.
But we didn't have an address. This is going to be as our address. Whoever has an issue with a disability and you have an issue, this is where we are going to be located. We are going to be having departments, as our chairman discussed earlier. He said we are going to be having field officer, the one that is going to be looking to people with disability down at the grassroots, because we happen to see the picture around that people with disability in this movement, they are well off now.
Some people with disabilities who attended the function say that with the prevailing peace and stability, they will use the office to lobby government support, among other efforts, to advance their development.
For a very long time, this is the first of its kind in the history of persons with disability. We have been having difficulties in the information flow, service delivery, because we did not have such a kind of organization.
Leaders in Bundibujo district have reached a landmark decision to create a new administrative unit, Bugendira district, carved out of the existing Bundibujo district. The move follows two high-level consultative meetings between the Ministry of Local Government and district leaderships, where long-standing disputes surrounding the proposed split were resolved amicably.
The efforts to create Bugendira district began in 2010, spearheaded by local leaders calling for administrative independence and better service delivery. That journey has now reached a critical milestone after the ruling NRM caucus this year approved the proposal for its creation.
So I am happy with the caucus, the colleagues, the caucus members, that they did approve the president's proposal of granting Bugendera a district status.
The push for a new district, according to officials, was largely driven by persistent ethnic tensions, allegations of marginalization and poor service delivery in the district, issues that at times turned deadly.
We had a conflict between the Bamba, Babwese and the Vanuma, conflicting with the Bakonjo. But the essence of the matter was not a tribal conflict, but it was arising from issues regarding marginalization, issues regarding poor service delivery.
In a recent two-day consultative meeting between the Ministry of Local Government and Bundibujo District leadership, consensus was reached, ending years of division and paving way for the new district.
We witnessed our leaders who came together from the new proposed district and the Bundibujo District Local Government. They came on board to discuss a number of issues that would enable us have this district passed by Parliament. I want to congratulate our leaders, and particularly those leaders from the OBB, Obdingabwabwamba, and some senior leaders from Bundibujo District Local Government, who came together and gave in their suggestion about how they thought this district would be carved out of this district.
Residents and local leaders are now expressing optimism, hoping that Buhendera district will deliver improved services, transparency, and inclusive governance.
It has been so challenging that most of the people are not accessing services under education, health, road network, including employment opportunity. But as a community,
we will demand for accountability. It will be a corruption-free district. You sell a job, you lose a job. You sell a service, you lose a service.
Some leaders say this district should have been created much earlier, arguing it was one of the promises that helped usher in NRM government into power.
They committed class suicide. They went to the bush, lived with the peasants. That's in 1982-83. NRM and NRA was owned wholeheartedly by the mountain people. It is even a surprise that we have taken long before we are liberated from our social, economic, and political challenges. Almost 43 years.
UBC News Tonight. Political parties have been called upon to take the lead in talking peace rather than organize citizens to be violent as Uganda prepares to go into the 2025-26 general elections. While launching the Let's Talk Peace campaign in Kampala, the Minister for Gender, Labour and Social Development, Betty Amongi, urged the implementers of the campaign to have mechanisms of engaging security agencies and heads of political institutions to prevent conflict.
The Netherlands Institute for Multi-Party Democracy has released a report on the conflict situation analysis and hotspots, which indicates that over the years, 63% of the elections have had violence. According to the survey by Afrobarometer, 50% of the Ugandans admitted there is intimidation and violence during elections.
Voter intimidation and arrests are very vivid, and they are part of the manifestations of this electoral violence.
We already have a violent election upon us. As we speak, there are many members of political parties who are in detention on politically motivated charges.
Somebody commits a crime regardless of the political color, and once somebody is arrested, then it will not be about violence, because the justice system, even when we arrest as police, we end up in court.
The report has also highlighted emerging conflict trends in Uganda, such as excessive monetization of politics and intra-party conflicts. Experts have alluded to these issues, but emphasized the issue of civic education.
Can we invest as a country in civic education so that citizens are not
grounded in ethnicity and look beyond their ethnicity.
And that the least educated, least exposed people that are vulnerable to bribery and manipulation, they're the largest turnout in the voters.
The spokesperson in the Electoral Commission, Julius Muchunguzi, said to have a peaceful election, all actors need to be law-abiding.
All follow the guidelines issued by the Electoral Commission. They should all treat each other with respect. They should not abuse digital social media platforms to spread hate, false news, information.
The chairman of the National Consultative Forum, Godfrey Chiwanda Subi, said they have put emphasis on popularizing the code of conduct for political parties.
The Political Parties and Organizations Act, Cap 178, is proposed for tolerance among different political parties, organizations and their members and supporters.
Although initiatives like the National Peace Pledge and Peace Compact were signed, violence continues. Now, stakeholders have launched a project dubbed Tuongea, Let's Talk Peace, and a peace caravan moving around the country to hotspots of conflict.
As we launch this campaign and this project, we commit to engaging communities across Uganda in meaningful dialogue, supporting institutions that uphold electoral integrity.
Security actors, when it comes to public freedoms like assembly or demonstration, they must exert their mandate by regulating, not preventing or prohibiting.
While launching the campaign and signing the commitment pledge, the Minister of Gender, Labour and Social Development, Betty Amongi, urged political leaders to take lead in this peace initiative.
Prevention mechanism through ensuring that the stakeholders, the political actors are educated to prevent conflict, most especially targeting the youth. Also focusing on security agencies because majority of the conflict is occasioned by militarization through either the police or the army.
I'm Nafka Farida in Kampala.
The Ministry of Finance has committed to the financing of 500 youth in climate financing and climate management. While officiating at the Climate Financing Symposium of Chambogo University and the launch of the Climate Hub, the head of climate financing in the ministry, Dennis Mugaga, reiterated on available strategies of financing youth-led innovation towards climate conservation. We have the details.
It is a national strategy of attracting youth involvement in climate-resilient campaigns. The Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development commits on the prioritization of youth innovations.
Support innovations of students. Now, we may not have the capacity to incubate all the innovations of the students at a time. That's why we are having partners on board. We do not work alone.
Going to help us. It is the solutions that are going to help the masses to actually attract financing, but then also undertake climate action.
Chambogo University has launched the Environment Hub Uganda with the purpose of translating climate-related research into practical. The Finance Ministry intends to leverage this initiative to support the training of at least 500 youth-led innovations.
To be hands-on engagements, they're going to be actual trainings, maybe classroom trainings, but then ultimately for us, as a Minister of Finance, we want applied research. So it has to be mostly more on the hands-on than on the theory.
To attract other development partners in the environment conservation campaigns, researchers are urged to make their innovations bankable to pull investors.
It's therefore a call to action. Let us mainstream climate finance in all that we do. Let us raise climate finance locally. Universities should provide solutions, national solutions to climate change, solutions to green development.
Other strategies laid to enhance climate resilience include carbon markets, whereby this sector is selected to bolster the adaptation of green and clean energy to minimize emissions.
By either putting in place technologies that can sequester the carbon or avoid make sure that we reduce on the emissions by putting in place technologies that will reduce on emissions when, for example, cooking.
Innovation was going to help us on that area. Then we also had a student who has done a prototype of generating a number of products from plastics. And it is right here, and that means we could save a lot of money on buying those products, importing them, but also create employment and reduce the plastic crisis that we are having as a country.
The symposium attracted stakeholders from the academia, government agencies, private sector, and is centered on the theme, Investing in Our Future, Leveraging Carbon Finance for Sustainable Conservation and Inclusive Development. Abdul Nasir Luwama and Regan Ahumza for UBC.
The race for Gulu City Mayor is intensifying following the nomination of 3 aspirants to challenge the incumbent Alfred Okwonga, who sailed through the NRM party primaries unopposed. Despite being entrusted with the party flag, Okwonga now faces competition, including NRM-leaning independent candidate Mark Anthony Obonyo. Stephen Okello with the report.
During NRM party primaries, incumbent Mayor Alfred Okwonga sailed through unopposed, but the general election is proving differently as 3 challengers have lined up to unseat him. The big question remains, what do the aspirants have in their manifestos to bridge the funding gap faced by Gulu City, one of the newly created cities?
The only way that a new city as Gulu can do is to make sure that they invest very heavily in attracting private investors to the city.
Candidate Mark Anthony Obonyo believes that Gulu locations with direct link to 4 neighboring countries provide huge opportunities. He says attracting manufacturing companies to set up in Gulu City will expand the city tax base.
We are almost the only city after Kampala that can have direct link to about 6 countries. Gulu stands as the biggest export opportunity for this country, especially agro export.
Another candidate, Jonathan Okello, says Gulu need more attractive business environment to strengthen the revenue base.
We have to have tax incentives. These tax incentives are very important to the businesses that we see. These local businesses that we have in Gulu here are still struggling. So I believe if we provide tax incentives to these businesses, that will help us attract more businesses into the city, that will help us boost our sources of revenue.
As a city still ailing from the scars of LRA war, the issue of street kids remains a major concern. But how do aspirants intend to tackle it?
The issue of street kids, it used to be a very serious issue. But right now, as I talk, we are managing them. We are handling this case by case.
On youth unemployment, candidate pledged range of interventions, from revitalizing the industrial area to skilling programs and tapping into tourism potentials.
We need more industries. By having factories here, we shall create more jobs.
Mark Anthony Obonyo applauded government's new skill-based education policy, saying it will support the effort to fight unemployment in Gulu City. Now that the nominations are done, the fate of who becomes the next mayor of Gulu City lies in the hands of the voters. Stephen Okello for UBC TV, Gulu.
The NRM leaders in Moroto have applauded party delegates in the district for the peaceful Youth and Entrepreneurs League elections that were conducted today throughout the country. According to the party election officials in the district, the exercise was a success with a big turn-up cooperation by all the delegates.
Fine. We had the elections of the National Youth League and the Entrepreneurs League, together with the national female MP representatives. The exercise took place around our office premises in Moroto, whereby we were able to conduct the election successfully for all the positions.
Must have 23 youth
who all voted. I had 5 entrepreneurs. All my delegates stand up for voting. 23rd, our president is nominating. And I pray that when after he nominates, we all continue mobilizing and supporting our president, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, to continue being our president, because the far he has brought Karamoja. My people in Karamoja are enjoying PDM, Emioga, grow. When the NRM government continues ruling us, the more better our country gets to.
UBC News Tonight takes a short break, but we return with more stories after these messages. Don't be
ebiseera by'okuzaayo abaana mu masomero tebiteekwa kukaluubiriza n'akatono. Eno kusimba nnyiriri mpanvu, kano kalipagano ka bidduka. Simanya kuzunga na banka siripsi? Kati osobola okusasula school fees z'omwana wo ate n'okola n'ebirala ntoko ku ssimu ye ey'omu ngalo. Ekikola kyangu nnyo. Nyiga bunyizi *165*8 ogoberera ebikulagiriddwa oba okozese app ya MTN Momo. Ate kati okola ki olwaleero? MTN Mobile Money Uganda Limited erungamizibwa banka enkulu ya Uganda.
At UNOC, we believe in safety.
Alright, listen up. Colgate is on a mission.
It's kind of a big thing.
Colgate Herbal uses traditional nature's herbs and combines it with Colgate Science for healthy gums and strong teeth.
New Colgate Herbal with Salt combines traditional nature's herbs with a pinch of salt and Colgate Science. A natural recipe for strong teeth and healthy gums.
Revered as the patrons of the wild, my horn stood tall, announcing my presence among Africa's Big Five. Yet, with all my strength, I struggled to survive. Then Uganda Wildlife Authority gave us something, a safe home at the Ziwa Rhino Sanctuary. And here we begin to thrive again. Today, we are 48 members strong, with 17 cows, ready to take our unique story into the future. This is your lifetime opportunity to name a rhino, and with it, find the conservation efforts that keep our story alive. For more information, visit our website, www.ugandawildlifeauthority.org.
Welcome back from the break, and we're glad you're still with us here in UBC News Tonight. Now, in more stories this evening, the district, city and municipal inspectors of schools have been implored to take seriously the security of exams in order to curb the vice of examination malpractice in this year's final exams. This was said by Dan Odong, the Executive Director of Uganda National Examinations Board during the annual seminar of inspectors of schools on management of this year's primary leaving examinations, presided over by State Minister for Primary Education, Dr. Joyce Muriku Kaduchu, at the UNEB headquarters in Chambogo.
By the lack of integrity among schools which practice examination malpractice, highlighting the issue of some heads of schools who register normal students as disabled in a bid to secure more time for their bright students, noting that it is an anomaly.
Required all the stakeholders in the examination process to take very seriously the issue of security of the examination at all stages. And at each of these stages, anything can go wrong if the issue of security is not taken seriously. We have found out that heads of schools are reporting non-existent cases. They are misreporting the types of disabilities of the learners. Especially, you find in one school, which is not a special school, you can find as many as 30 learners registered as special needs and with dyslexia or autism. Then low vision is another very popular one. We have learned, Honorable Minister, that this is now a form of examination malpractice. All that they are looking for is 45 minutes extra.
The State Minister for Primary Education has acknowledged the role of inspectors of schools in examination administration, condemned examination malpractice, and expressed hope for improvements through competence-based assessment.
The strategic importance of inspectors as a link between education policy and practice cannot be overemphasized. Unfortunately, one of the most evils impacting the examination process, leading to unreliable and ethical certification, is examination malpractices. Government is committed to producing learners who are skillful, learners who are innovative.
The minister further committed on behalf of government that the welfare of teachers, including increasing their pay at all levels, is considered as a priority in the next financial year.
I reaffirm government of Uganda's support and commitment. They're having dialogue and negotiation concerning the pay rise for our teachers.
Inspectors of schools have highlighted critical challenges that tend to undermine the proper process of examination administration, such as poor road network, especially in rural districts, transport allowances, among others.
Districts which are experiencing the same flood challenges.
This year's seminar for inspectors of schools is organized under the theme Embracing Security and Holistic Assessment of Learners in a Dynamic Environment. Joseph Chigozigola, UBC, Kampala.
Preparations for the celebrations of the International Youth Day tomorrow are in high gear in Masindi. Now, the Minister for Youth and Children Affairs, Dr. Balam Barugahara, says all is set for the celebrations. Now, His Excellency is expected to be the guest of honor. Jenny Ramgisha is in Masindi.
Advancing socio-economic transformation through partnerships and technology is the theme for this year's International Youth Day. And of course, as Uganda gets ready to celebrate the International Youth Day, here in Masindi, everything is set to be, of course, celebrated tomorrow. And of course, as you can see, everyone is up and down trying to set up a few things here and there here in Masindi to get ready for the big day. The day started with a meeting chaired by the State Minister for Youth and Children Affairs, and that is the Honorable Balam Barugahara, who was actually having a meeting with a team, the organizing team here in Masindi, that is preparing for the day tomorrow and for the coming of His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, as the chief guest of the celebrations. The minister also had with him the Assistant Commissioner, Mr. Mondo Chateka, who also was part of the organizing committee. And of course, the meeting was focusing on security, mainly to ensure that the people that are coming to Masindi and the people of Masindi are actually safe while the celebrations go on.
I want to assure our members of the public that tomorrow's day is going to be very peaceful, because our security, we have done our part.
And also it focused on a number of issues to ensure that the day goes on well.
His Excellency, the President of Uganda, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, will be the guest of honor. As you can see, we are at 98.8% set.
And of course, the people of Masindi, the locals here in Masindi, actually excited to have such a big day, a big national day celebrated here in their district.
It means good. It means a lot. The business community, their hotels have been booked.
Earlier today, the minister had an engagement with the market vendors of Masindi district markets, different markets in Masindi district. And of course, they were excited to have him around as he was trying to mobilize them to come in big numbers tomorrow for the Youth Day and also to support His Excellency the President come 2026 in the general elections. And of course, the youth here in Masindi and also the ones that are actually coming to Masindi for their day are having pre-activities during the day and also in the night, and these include other campfire conversations and also a football match. These are activities that are being held in celebration for their day tomorrow.
National Youth Council, our major role is to mobilize the young people of Uganda into meaningful activities.
Today we are here with the young people having a pre-event which is really uniting young people.
My name is Jane Nyiramujisha here in Masindi.
Thank you, Jen Nyiramugisha, who is in Masindi, calls for the International Youth Day. In more news stories this evening, only 36% of the urban population in Uganda has access to improved sanitation, largely due to limited funding and rapid population growth, with northern Uganda facing even greater challenges. In a bid to improve sanitation in Kitgum Municipality and Pabo Town Council, Water for People Uganda and the Government of Australia through the Austrian Development Agency have signed a partnership agreement to ensure equitable and sustainable access to safely managed sanitation services in the two urban centres.
The initiative will directly benefit over 30,000 people in Kitgum and Pabo by expanding access to proper sanitation and improved hygiene.
So what we want to do with the project is really to empower communities to improve sanitation, because we believe that by improving sanitation, we improve the lives of people, we improve the health of people, we improve the productivity, thereby contributing to the economic development of the country.
The €500,000 project seeks to bridge the sanitation gap in northern Uganda, which is marked by rapid population growth and unplanned settlements.
It is going to bridge the sanitation gap in Kitgum Municipality and in Pabo Town Council, addressing the sanitation challenges that are characteristic with urban areas, unplanned settlements, poor fecal sludge management, poor basic sanitation. So this project will be supporting the households to be able to invest in sustainable climate resilience, household sanitation facilities, but also support the schools to have drainable latrines that can be reused each time they are emptied.
The project will also support enterprises in the sanitation value chain, enabling them to earn a living through sanitation-related businesses.
What we do as Water for People is to support enterprises in sanitation businesses. We believe you can make money out of shit. You could say literally out of the sanitation value chain. You can either do business in pit emptying, latrine construction, making briquettes or compost out of sludge. So basically all our initiatives across the 4 country programs in Africa, that's what we promote as an organization.
Water for People is a non-government organization in water, sanitation and hygiene wash sector that has operated in Uganda since 2008, complementing government efforts to achieve Sustainable Development Goal 6, clean water and sanitation for all. Winnie Ainembabazi Katwire, UBC News in Kampala.
MTN Super, wali yakapia musite wali yakapia. Wali yakapia. MTN kabode super mustairo mpia. Vibe mpia. Then you kabode smartphone nevi yakabibiona. Wali yakapia. MTN kabode super mustairo mpia. Vibe mpia.
Get the new Kabode Super smartphone and enjoy 16 GB free. Start with a deposit of only 45,000 Uganda shillings and pay the rest mpora in daily installments of less than 1K. You can also make weekly and monthly installments. Together, our vibes are unstoppable. Terms and conditions apply.
MTN.
MTN is regulated by Uganda Communications Commission.
All right, listen up. Colgate is on a mission.
It's kind of a big thing.
Colgate Herbal uses traditional nature's herbs and combines it with Colgate Science for healthy gums and strong teeth.
New Colgate Herbal with Salt combines traditional nature's herbs with a pinch of salt and Colgate Science. A natural recipe for strong teeth and healthy gums.
Exercise can't be sustained. Eating can't be stopped. It's even harder to lose weight. Come and give it a try. Genshikang L-carnitine chromium capsules. Plant extract, scientific ratio. Take 3 capsules each time. The active ingredient accelerates fat burning. Eat twice a day. Don't take a detour. Weight loss starts now. Genshikang L-carnitine with chromium capsules helps you stay in shape. Please follow medical advice when taking this product. For more information, visit our website www.hgo.com or call 0800 335555.
Honorable Fred Biamukama, Minister of State for Works and Transport in charge of transport, invites you to the second phase of the 4-acre model campaign in Greater Bunyoro sub-region. The event will take place at Nalweyu Primary School Playground, Behimba Road, on Saturday 20th September 2025 at 10 a.m. and will be graced by His Excellency President Yoweri Museveni. All residents, civil servants and leaders from the districts that make up Greater Hoima, Greater Masindi, Greater Chibale and neighboring areas are encouraged to attend in large numbers. This initiative, led by the President, aims to bring ordinary people into the money economy by showcasing farmers who have succeeded in the 1-acre model, 2-acre model, 3-acre model and 4-acre model. Join local leaders and residents in learning how small land can be used to enhance food security and socio-economic growth. Don't miss this opportunity to witness the transformative impact on local communities.
Welcome back from that break, and now into business news. Consumers of financial services are being urged to exercise increased caution when applying for loans, whether from formal banks or informal money lending institutions. This call was made during the launch of the Nshuti Financial Consumer Advisory Center, a new initiative aimed at strengthening consumer protection and financial literacy in Uganda.
Many users of financial services in Uganda report having experienced a grievance. This cuts across the formal and informal sectors.
I've been a borrower and I have my mother bank. I call it my mother bank. But the way they have harassed me, I ran away to another bank to get rescue after requesting for top up. They refused.
Very important financial institutions, I don't know whether supervised by Bank of Uganda, 80% of the agreements they have koratobaga nti ntunze ani agenda okukikolako.
Despite widespread concern, there remains a critical question. How did we get here?
Some of the problems come from a sense of desperation. When someone wants money, they throw caution to the wind. Number one. Number two, they tend to think that the person lending them money is their friend.
You are borrowing, you should be there to read these things carefully. And if you are borrowing and you shouldn't sign a sales agreement, the reality is different from that. And if you ask any borrower, however sophisticated they are, and they are desperate for money, the only thing they ask is, where should I sign? That is true.
We have a common saying that necessity is the mother of invention. So for a long time, you have all these financial institutions, lenders, etc. But in the middle there lies a challenge of who protects the borrower.
The launch of Nshuti Financial Consumer Advisory Center is therefore seen as a milestone in strengthening financial inclusion and consumer protection.
Our mission in 3 summarized statements. 1, to empower every Ugandan to make informed financial decisions. Out of every 100 people we interviewed, 68% of Ugandans had never read the letters they signed when they borrowed money. So congratulations on that. I was being sarcastic, but anyway, that's what we found.
Remember that when it comes to financial service providers don't sell you loans or insurance. They sell you trust. And the consumers of financial services don't just buy trust, they are hoping that this is the service provider is going to stand with them throughout their journey towards financial independence.
Nshuti's financial ombudsman services are designed to serve as a trusted, impartial mechanism through which financial consumers can report, resolve, and learn from financial disputes. Charlotte Amuge for UBC News.
Postbank Uganda has trained its staff in green financing, aligning with the global push for environmental, social and governance principles. The move positions the bank closer to achieving international sustainability certification. Postbank will soon rebrand as Pearl Bank. We have more.
A 3-day training on green finance. Staff were equipped with skills in climate risk assessment, portfolio analysis, and identifying financing opportunities for SMEs. The training was supported by the European Union. Caroline Adama, head of public sector at Postbank Uganda, says the bank is realigning its services to meet the growing demand for green and social finance products.
Due to the global shift towards sustainability, it is important that we align the bank's activities to the global sustainability agenda as the demand for green and social finance products is increasing, which enables us also to tap into markets, attract eco-conscious investors and businesses that champion sustainable practices.
Christine Meyer, Project Lead Uganda Green Enterprise Finance Accelerator, commended Postbank for investing in sustainable banking practices.
UGEFA is funded by the EU, and we have set up a climate finance facility in collaboration with Postbank that will provide green loans which are blended with grants for green SMEs. The green SMEs can benefit from trainings to become bankable, but also subsidized loans that are provided by Postbank in collaboration with UGEFA. So we would like to thank the European Union delegation to Uganda, but also Postbank for this exciting partnership and this commitment, and we are very much looking forward to jointly drive forward the sustainable development agenda here in Uganda.
With this latest initiative, Postbank is advancing Uganda's participation in the global green finance movement.
And we expect to extend the knowledge to our colleagues and the community at large. We always interact with our community. We shall teach them what we have acquired.
I believe that we are going to be change agents, being representative of our teams in this engagement. We are going to be change agents, and we are going to drive this activity and see a highly exchangeable results at the end of the day.
Sandra Kahunde, News Tonight.
Technical and vocational education and training institutes, including Uganda Vocational Training Authority, UVTAB, training institutions, and the World of Work have been undergoing retooling for the promotion and implementation of modularized curriculum at the Uganda Industrial Research Center. The UVTAB Executive Secretary, Onesmus Oyesije, says that the design and implementation of the new TVET Act and policy is rimming greatly with Uganda's development agenda.
UVTAB is retooling subject specialists, trainers and assessors from the world of work on competence-based assessment under the new TVET Act. UVTAB, supported by Enabel with 400 million shillings, is training 40 UVTAB specialists and 160 assessors from TVET providers and the private sector.
Let us work together, formalize partnerships through MOUs that will enhance the quality of curriculum design, assessment and certification. Together, we can build a resilient, industry-led TVET system capable of producing a skilled workforce that is equipped, motivated and ready to contribute meaningfully to our nation's development.
Oyesije says the authority plans to continue such training programs to ensure trainers and assessors are fully equipped to deliver high-quality vocational education. Oyesije says the new TVET Act brings significant changes and believes Uganda will soon become a center of excellence for skills development in Africa.
It is a game for all of us, the employers, those who are for us who are in assessment, those who are regulating, and those who are dealing with the trainers. So together we can build a resilient industrial activity system capable of producing skilled workforce that is equipped, motivated and ready to contribute meaningfully to our nation's development.
Jalia Nasaza stresses that meetings like these are vital as UVTAB leads the design of the new TVET curriculum.
According to the TVET Act 2025, the mandate of curriculum development and review was given to the Uganda Vocational and Technical Assessment Board. So what is going to happen is that we are going to work in collaboration with the TVET Council through the Sector Skills Council to come up with the new curriculum.
He says the training has equipped trainers and assessors with the skills needed to design and conduct effective competence-based assessments.
And now into sports. Over 100 badminton players are set to compete in the City Tires East African Badminton Tournament due to take place on 16th October this year at Lugogo Indoor Stadium in Kampala. Players will participate in the categories of under 10, under 16, as well as the national team players, both male and female, will lock horns for the podium finish. Simon Mugabe, CEO Uganda Badminton Association, asserted that the tournament will be used as a build-up for the upcoming international competitions, as he explains.
That is more internal with the state tires, but it has been announced here, as you have heard, that it's going to make it even bigger and bigger, where there are going to be even 3 to motivate the players to see that they train hard and play hard. And encourage others to join. He has also mentioned that he's going to make a special prize for 3 top players. So it's likely going to be bigger and bigger than the previous one. Have trophies. Of course, you know, State Tires trophies are the biggest on the market, and of course there is cash prize that goes to the players. But what I know is that the prizes are going to increase from what it was last year to another level this year.
I am very ready because I've been training ever since the year began. So we have been in the camp training, so we are very ready for the tournament. I'm so grateful to be here because Ling Long has promised us a good prize money for the winners. Apart from that, there is a special prize that we all don't know about. So this will push us to work so hard and put competition on court. Yeah.
Hearsay of a special package on top of the actual price has really put us on a different spot that we really have to work hard and win. And even on top of that, we've been training, so it didn't find us unprepared. We're just going to finalize with a few touches so that we come for that tournament when we know that we're the best.
And with that, UBC News Tonight comes to an end. Thank you so much for your company this evening. I'm Lauryn Masika Kazimoto with my colleague Gulu Mohammed. We do bid you farewell and good night.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
The Vice President of Uganda, Jessica Alupo, officially launched the construction of a state-of-the-art surgical theatre at Katakwi General Hospital.
Attractive as they are,